Okay, boom, we're away. Good morning, everyone. Back at it. Today we're going to be looking at some online profiles and employability. You might have seen from the title. So just remember, obviously we're doing this session live, but if you have any questions when you're watching it back on the recording, just drop me an email. My email address is in the description of the video. As is all of that supplementary learner information, which is a link to a Google Drive with some documents on should you be having any issues with the courses whatsoever. There'll be a bunch of contact information in there as well, and what to do and who to speak to. Just making sure that's correct. Yeah, that's all in there. So, if at any point you need to get in touch about anything relating to the course, drop me a message. Obviously our Facebook page, Twitter, both have a message feature on the Instagram as well. You can drop us a message on there. I sort of went over that in the social media session. So yeah, today we're going to be having a look at everything relating to sort of job seeking, as well as like your online profile. So building a little bit on what we did when we had a look at social media. Obviously, you set up yourself on different platforms. We had a look at Facebook, we had a look at Twitter, we had a look at Instagram, we had a little look at YouTube, and how to manage some of the settings on there about who can see what. One thing that Facebook and LinkedIn down the years, I suppose, have branched out into is job searching on there. With LinkedIn being primarily a more professional website in terms of that, the whole point of it is like a networking tool. So you use that to connect with other people in different industries or the same industry or charities or industries that you want to get involved with. You can do a bit of research on there, see what people are into, what people post, what people do in their day-to-day role, that sort of thing. You can also use it to exhibit what skills you have. We'll go into your LinkedIn profile in a little bit and what makes a strong profile and what doesn't, or what would make your profile stronger than it perhaps already is. Facebook's also branched out into having sort of a jobs section now as well, which is, I'll be honest, I haven't used it too much. I know it exists and I know how to set up like your basic search. So we'll be having a little look at that. But that again, when we talked about social media last week, I think it was last Wednesday, we had a look at controlling what information's out there, in terms of who can see what posts and things like that. That's something to bear in mind if you are using Facebook to try and job search and look for work or volunteering opportunities or whatever it is. If you're doing that, then be mindful of what's on your profiles, because maybe they don't want to be reading about how you've just had a scrap outside of McDonald's or whatever. So yeah, just be aware that the things you post online could come back to a potential sort of employer. So just before we start, we're also going to have a little look at like CVs. Now, I'm not going to obviously I can't take you guys through a live CV creation for each of you individually, because obviously we're streaming this live and you're watching the video back. However, if anyone does want any help with CV building or updating, or maybe they want to change templates, or maybe they'd like to start again from scratch because the one they've got they're not happy with, maybe it's the CV's too long, it's on 3 or 4 pages, we need to condense that down a bit, give me a shout. We can set up like a one-to-one Zoom call. We could possibly even do it as a bit of a group session, depending on how many of you guys want to do that. And we can sit between me and Daniel and sort of trim down your CV, change templates, like I say, maybe have a look at the fonts, maybe see if some of the things you've got on there aren't as relevant. That's where we're going to start today. We're going to create a couple of email addresses, and I'll explain why in a minute. But then we're going to use some free online tools basically to create some CVs. So we're going to start. I'm just going to load this in a different tab to make sure it comes up okay. With Word, something called Word Online. So for anyone who hasn't used Word Online before, if you create an Outlook account, you will get access to Word Online. I'm just loading it in a different screen because last time I did this when I was streaming, it wasn't very happy with itself. So let me just go to outlook.com. So if you're struggling to get there at all, if you just go to your Google search engine and you just go to, hang on, I'm signed in on this outlook.com in there. Free personal email address that will take you to this page here. We don't have an account, so we're going to click on, well, I do have an account, but we're going to create one. So this is similar to what Daniel did in the basic session, but this is just a different sort of provider. So you can have outlook.com or you can have hotmail.com. I'll leave it on Outlook. I'll type in Media Savvy Test 2022. But you in here would type in your own name, obviously, or something that you would remember. Again, might want to make it not something ridiculous with loads of like X's and O's and all sorts of underscores and things like that. Easier to remember, but equally, if you need to give this email address out for any reason, you don't want it to be something that would be quite embarrassing. Like, I'm a Bobby girl at outlook.com might not be ideal. So it's going to ask you for a password. I'm just going to set one. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but you would set your password. Remember, we went over in the e-safety session about what a strong password is. I'm not going to tick either of those boxes. I'm going to click next. It's going to ask me my name, so I'm going to just say, I'll type my name in there. It's going to ask me my date of birth. Now, again, I'm just going to spoof one here. I'm just going to make one up. 1984. The only reason it asks you stuff like that is sometimes if you forget your password, it might ask you things like your date of birth. It'll probably ask you to create a little puzzle like this. Pick the ant. Am I supposed to be able to see the ant? Yep. That should hopefully confirm that I am indeed not a robot. Apparently I'm not a robot, so I've passed. Brilliant. That's what I like to see. So I've created my Outlook account. And then the wheel of doom in the top left, which you guys can't quite see, is just spinning away here. So that might just be my internet having a bit of a time to itself. That'll happen. Largely due to a streaming. It normally gets a little bit upset. So that's what the Outlook page will look like when it opens. This is your inbox here. It's going to give you some tips, importing your contacts, sending a message. I'm going to click on advanced settings here. I'm just going to make sure all those cookie things and data things are off. I'm going to turn legitimate interest purposes off because I don't want any targeted adverts, and I'm going to save that. And I'm just going to close that settings window down. So this is where your new emails will appear. I'm going to close that get started thing. I don't really need. This is where your new emails will appear here, sort of one by one. You click on them, it opens it on the right hand side here. So I've got my Outlook account here. Yeah, brand new. Just set it up. You might already have one. You're going to get some adverts on the right hand side. It's free, so that's how they sort of pay for it. If you notice over on the left hand side here, we've got access to these online versions of Microsoft programs. If I click on the Word one, it will take me to the document creator in Microsoft Word. And you're doing this online, and can you see on the left hand side you've got access to all those apps. Now you can't download them onto your computer, but as long as you connect to the internet and you sign into your Outlook account, you have use of Excel, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word. I think there's another couple of things there. There's Teams and OneNote. We're not going to get into them just yet. I think Daniel's had a little look at Teams on Monday. So I've clicked on the Word one. Can you see it's got a little bar there? So I know I'm editing Word documents here. And then I've got this templates option. There's more templates. Now if I click that and sort of have a scroll, we've got some CVs that you'll start to see. So we've got chronological CV. At the top, there's a little search bar, and I just think probably just cut off. But can you see here? It says search for apps, files, templates, and more. So if I type in CV, and then there's a little button comes up, search CV and templates. If I click that, I'm going to get a bunch of CVs here. And this is just where you want to pick a sort of a template. Now, with the templates, less is often more. So what I mean is you don't want to go over the top with something like this one, where it's got loads of colours and pictures on. Imagine it printed out in black and white for starters. So these ones here, if you print these out in black and white, they're going to start to look like a bit of a disaster. You're possibly taking them with you to a job interview. You might be emailing them in. You don't want to be sending big attachments with lots of data in them. You just want to be sending something that's clean, concise, so quite short. Looks easy to read. You don't want it to be visually confusing, unless you are, say, a designer. In which case, if you're a designer or an illustrator, you can probably draw one yourself without doing one of these templates. They're one of the templates that have got loads of jazzy stuff on them. I would say, for the purposes of applying for the majority of jobs, you're wanting something that is quite plain, probably black and white with maybe a couple of splashes of light blue in it, maybe for some of the text. There was one up here with some different coloured bullet points. So like something like this one, you could go modern design of a student CV. You just click on it and it loads it in a new tab. Your browser settings require you to verify your identity. So I think it wants me to sign in again, which is fine. If I remember my password, that is. I have just made it, so I should do. Yeah, I believe it's made me sign in again. So I'm just going to go back to that tab. So I'm going to close that tab and click on that one again after it's made us sign in. Let's see if it loads again. Okay, it wants me to verify again. Hang on then. So once you've had an Outlook account for a while, it won't do this. It's because I've just set this up. It's getting a bit confused. It's like it thinks I'm some kind of robot, which is not great, but it will load eventually. It's going to load that template in, hopefully. Yeah, and can you see it's just got little splashes of colour with the little logos it's got in there. Excuse me. So this one, quite a basic template. It's on one page, and it's got a space for your first name, your last name. So you can take that out, type that in. You just highlight it. So you just edit in the document like you normally would. It's asking for address, phone, email, LinkedIn profile, which obviously we'll get to. Twitter, blog, portfolio. That could be another account that you link in there. Objective, and it's just giving you placeholders really. So it's just setting this out in a nice little sort of area, and then allowing you to type in there. So you would just delete out the dummy, what we call dummy text, so the text that exists as like a placeholder. So I'm going to take that out, and I'm just going to say this is my first, or this is my CV for the online profiles and employability session. And it's as easy as that to edit it. Easy for me to say. And you can obviously take bits out. So if you wanted to take out, say, the activities bit, because you weren't really fussed about, talking about extra sort of curricular stuff, you might just want your skills, experience, education. You could, to be totally honest with you, you could probably even take out the objective section and have in your education, your experience, and some skills. The personal statement style stuff, not always necessary. That first section is like a bit of a personal statement type of bit, where it's the objective. What you might find in that situation is you might want to do a cover letter instead. And moving those two sections allows me to just add a little bit more space in between them as well. So there's a nice bit of space at the top, there's a nice bit of space at the bottom. Everything isn't cramped into one small area. So you would just delete them out as and when. So you put probably your two most recent educational like qualifications in there. So if you've been to uni and college, or if you've been to college and school, or if it's school and then you talk experience, then you talk about your jobs, and it's normally the two most recent ones, depending on obviously how long they were. You might want to put more than one in. You might want to put your longest things of employment in there, and then if people ask in an interview, you just explain what you've been doing in the meantime. Is it volunteering? Did you do any more studying? Did you take a gap year? Did you, have you been on maternity? Have you took a break to look after the kids? Whatever it is, are you a carer? Things like that. There's a lot of stuff that can fill the gaps that you wouldn't necessarily list on your experience. But if someone asks, it's just good to know. So you might work the job from 2012 up until 2019, and then from 2019 to 2021, you didn't work because, like I say, any of those reasons, basically. Not necessarily list it on there. Just have it in mind when you rock up to your interview, which might be online these days as well. Quite often over a Zoom call or Teams call or like a Skype. I've seen a few people using Skype, which was a bit of a throwback. So I mean, I'll not edit this fully because that'll take me ages and I don't want to waste too much time. But what you would do sort of next is, and I just want to make sure we can see this. Yeah. So once I was finished editing this, it will, you see at the top, it's saying, you can't quite see that, hang on, that's what I was worried about. At the top, it says, document 1, save to OneDrive. If I click on that, I can change that, the name of it. So Haythem T CV, and then it's saved in my OneDrive. And what your OneDrive is if I go back to that home tab here and go to this little cloud, see the little cloud there is your OneDrive. You should be able to see it when you're signed in to your emails. Yeah, and there's the 3 little dots. Is it over here? Yes, so you click on, this little grid here, and then you've got your OneDrive. Now if I click on that, it should load me. It's refreshing the page. It's doing the same thing because I've got a new account. It's getting a bit confused. There we go. Right, so when I click on OneDrive, it will load a new page with my OneDrive and it'll have my files in it. So can you see? It's going to pop up with all the blooming tutorial stuff. But can you see that document saved in my OneDrive? Yeah, so if I wanted to come back to it at any point, I'd close all these tabs down, sign out, and then I could come back and at a later date sign back in, and it would just be sitting here in my OneDrive, and I could just click back on it. So I'll close those other 2 down, those other tabs. So at the minute I haven't got that CV open, and I could close my OneDrive and say I came back to Outlook, I signed in, I've checked my emails. I've got some other confirmation emails and stuff like that. The adverts that I'm getting. So then I would go to my little grid at the top. I'd go to OneDrive. It would load my OneDrive up, and then eventually it'll load my files. Bang! There we go. Click on it. Click on the old CV there. And again, my internet's having a bit of a moment, streaming and trying to load all these files all at once. Yep. So it's going to load in slowly but surely. Give it a minute. There it is. So I haven't changed too much with this. It's got the links and stuff on it. The logos, that are going to load in a little bit slower because they're images. So yeah, that's the CV there. So like I say, you can edit at any time. If I go over to File and come down to the Save As, so that's File and Save As. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. I'm just going to download a copy. Now I can do this in 2 formats. So I can download a copy as a Word document, which would mean I can edit it again on my computer. So using Microsoft Word if I had it installed, or if I had some other editing software like OpenOffice. Not going to worry too much about that. What I would recommend is you would edit it in here. So between your OneDrive, I don't want to buy anything, thank you. Between your OneDrive and this Word Online, yeah. And then when you're ready to download it, you come File, Save As, and download as a PDF. And then that means when you've downloaded it, it can't be edited. So you can't open it on your computer and make changes to it. This is now protected. So like if I highlight that, press backspace, nothing happens. Can't type in there either. I'm pressing the keyboard, nothing's happening. So I've downloaded it as a PDF, which is like a protected document. And I've now got a copy of it. But at any point, if I make any changes to it, so say I took out one of them like that. And I wanted to change, like those changes save automatically to your OneDrive, so that this document will update automatically. But obviously, the one that I downloaded was like a hard copy of it, so I'd have to download it again. So I'd have to do File, Save As, Download as PDF again, yeah. And that's how you do that. If anyone's struggling with any of that stuff, let me know. With your OneDrive and your Google Drive, just give me a shout, and we'll have a catch up about that. So that's doing it in Outlook, and obviously I've got a CV version there. Yeah. So what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to load a different browser for that. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing basically on Google Drive. So we're going to have two separate CVs here. You don't need to make two separate CVs. I'm just giving you the options of how to make them, so for free as well. So one of them is creating an Outlook account using Word Online, which is Microsoft Word, but it's fully online and in your browser, which you then get a OneDrive allocation. I think you get like 5 gig or 10 gig. I'll probably have a look. Much free storage. Outlook. 15 gig. So Microsoft, I don't know what this nonsense is. Microsoft offers 15 gig of email storage space for your account. If you ever needed any more, you can upgrade for quite a small price. However, if all you're doing is making CVs and little Word documents, and like say you're typing out cover letters, or you're typing letters to the bank or the job centre or whatever it is, Word documents don't take up a lot of space, so you'd not run out of this 15 gig very quickly. Sorry, it's 5 gig you get up for OneDrive, 5 gig. But even so, you wouldn't run out of space if all you were doing was typing small documents, Excel sheets, that sort of thing. Not going to run out of it. Pictures and videos, yes, you might start to. You might start to lose space quite quickly. If all you're doing is uploading pictures, videos, animations, that sort of thing, music. So just be careful, but you'll get a warning. Oh, excuse me. You'll get a warning when you start to run out on OneDrive, and I'll show you the same thing with Google in a minute. So that's when you've gone to Outlook.com, you've created an email address that's at Outlook.com or at Hotmail.com. You've signed in, you've gone to that Word Online, you've chosen a template, you've saved it to your OneDrive like I showed you. Obviously, go back if you're unsure of any of this. And the final step was file and save a copy of a PDF. So it was file, save as, download as PDF. That's how to use the Microsoft /Outlook version of what we're talking about. What we're going to do next is we're going to go to google.com, hopefully, if it will allow. Yeah. So on google.com, obviously I've done this on a private browser so that I'm not signed into anything. If I drop down this little grid up the top here, so next to where it says sign in, I don't know why I'm looking at my second monitor. You can see there's this this little icon for docs. So if I click on that, that'll take me to a page and it says sign in, because obviously Google's saying you can't use our services basically without having an account. So I'm just going to again create one for myself. I wonder if I can just do media savvy. Uh, 2022 at gmail.com again. I'll do a little password. Next. I'm not going to put a phone number in again. I'm just going to totally spoof a date of birth. This is where you might put your actual legitimate stuff in, because this will help you reset your account if you ever forget your password. So I think if you click on why we ask for this information, it tells you there why they're asking for it, and you can obviously either give it or you can just spoof it like I have. I'm not going to put a phone number in for now. I'm going to put express so I can do it quickly, and to that I'm going to just say confirm. I agree, all the privacy nonsense that they come up with. And now that I've signed up, I don't want to take a tour. It's took me to this Google Docs thing. You might end up in a slightly different place. So what you might have done is you might have gone to google.com and clicked sign in which case it might have took you to Gmail. And I'll show you what Gmail looks like. So you might have ended up here. Turn off small features. See, instead of there, you might have ended up here in this Google page here, which is fine. You also, let me just reload that page. It's having a cry about something. It's because I changed my settings, that's why. So you might end up here in your Google inbox. You might also just end up on a Google page, so just on the search page. Either way is fine, because what you'll see is that grid's still there at the top. So this little grid of Google Apps here is still there. You can go to it and scroll down, go to Docs. Same on the Google page. On the search page, you go to Google Apps. You scroll down, you go to Google Docs. That takes you to this website here, which is docs.google.com. And then can you see here, it's already given me some templates. So if I click on template gallery in the top right, which is what I click there, you see we've got a bunch of resumes, and which is just a fancy word for CV basically. And you can just sort of have a scroll through here and see what you might want to use. There's a whole bunch in there. So yeah, I mean, CVs, we've got a few there, we've got resumes. So let's just pick, I guess, this one. It, again, makes no odds really, as long as it's clear and obvious what you're doing. You're editing what your information is, basically, you're making that as obvious as possible and as readable as possible as well. So this one's sort of cut in a section. So again, the only bit I'm really going to edit is your name. Oh, it helps if I spell it right, like. Oh. There we go. So just like you would on Word Online or on Microsoft Word or any other editing software that you used before, you just sort of highlighting bits and taking them out. Yeah, so you understand that this is obviously on one page again, similar sort of thing really to the Outlook one that we did before. However, instead of this being stored in OneDrive, this will be saved in it's called My Drive or Google Drive. And can you see where it says resume at the top? I'm just going to click on that. So you literally just hover the cursor over, click, and I'm just going to call it CV Haythem T, like that. And it's telling me when I click on it where it's saved. So see, it says My Drive. So if I click on that, it's showing me where it is. So the only thing in My Drive at the minute is the CV. Now, what you're probably thinking is, well, what if I close this? So I've closed that down. That's gone now. I don't know where My Drive is. Again, from a Google page, so either Gmail or the Google home page, the search page rather, we're going to come to this Google Apps, and then we're going to have a little look for Drive. So you see here, Google Drive, this weird looking sort of recycling symbol. Click on that. It's going to take me to a website called drive.google.com, and in My Drive, the recent files, the only file that's in there at the minute, it's there, but also a list of recent ones that you've edited come along the top. So files, it's there. I can double click on it. It will open it in the new tab, and I'm there again. I'm back into my CV, which is nice and easy to edit. Obviously, there's a few options. I'm not going to run through them all, but same with always. You've got bold, underline, italics. You've got your font size, that sort of thing. The same thing we have in Word, basically, is along the top there. Center, left align, right align. You've got lines and paragraphs, bullet lists, checklists, numbered lists. You can do like little indents with the text and things like that. So just have a play about with them. Obviously, Google and Microsoft have been at this for so long that if you have any issues, you can just Google like, oh, how do I increase the text size? And there'll be like a step-by-step guide on how to do it. However, again, if you have any trouble, let one of us know at Media Savvy. We'll be able to walk you through it quite easily. Not going to be a massive drama to change the formatting of this too much. So yeah, this will be the same sort of scenario. Really, we want to download a copy, so we're going to go up to File, and there's a few different things. Yeah, you can avoid using this email one normally. I normally download, and then again, you can download it as a Microsoft Word document, which would mean if you had Word on your computer, you could edit it. In this instance, I'm going to do the same as I did before, and I'm going to do it as a PDF. So that's File, Download, PDF document, and it should. It's just popping up saying, what do you want to do? I'm just going to click Save, and it should just go into my downloads. It's going to complete it, yeah. So then if I click on the little folder icon in Firefox, it will load my downloads file, but I'm just going to collapse some of this stuff so we can see it a bit better. Yep, so my downloads folder there, I've got the 2 CVs that I made. So there's the one I made in Microsoft Word, see 1025, so that was a little bit earlier. There's the one I've just made in Google Drive, yeah. And if you double click on them, obviously with them being a file, they'll just load slowly but surely. And obviously I haven't filled much of the information in, but this will be what it looks like when your prospective employer, your potential employer, or whoever you're sending it to gets a hold of it on their end, yeah. And the reason I like it as a PDF is because it's tremendously hard to edit them and make it look legitimate. Whereas if you send someone a Word document, they can just chop and change any bits and pieces. Even by mistake, sometimes things get edited. Like someone will open a document, they'll accidentally delete something or add a bunch of, like they'll have accidentally pressed the keyboard. That could be yourself. And then you've just pressed save, or you've had it set to auto save, and it can just make a bit of a mess. So editing it in Google Drive, Google Docs, or in Word Online, and then downloading it as a PDF once you're happy with it is probably the way I would proceed. So yeah, there's 2. And again, I haven't really edited too much of the information because I'm just doing this as like a demonstration, really, because we'll probably run out of time if I sat here and tried to remember what the heck I've been doing for the past 10 years or whatever. Because to be quite honest, I can't remember what I had for tea last night. So yeah, there's my 2 CV templates. So they're ones that we're going to look to upload when we can, basically. So I'm going to leave my Outlook open. I'm going to think I've got my Google open as well. I'm just going to close a couple of them down. So the next sort of step really is creating some online profiles. Now, we've created CVs, and I've shown you that first because that's probably the first step. Say you're recently coming back to like job seeking, say after the pandemic, for example, you're looking to get back into work as things open back up. You're probably going to want to, the starting point is going to be creating your CVs. And once you've got them and you're happy with them, that's something that you can be applying for jobs with. You'll need one for any kind of benefit claims if you are expected as part of your benefit claim to search for jobs, like something like universal credit, for example. That, which is fine. That's a great way of creating them. The next step is to get yourself out there online and start looking at it. So we're not going to use the CV straight away, but we will come back to them. We're going to have a quick look at just one of the websites as an example, which is Indeed. That's probably what we're going to do sort of last, just because that has a sort of weird, not weird, but it's slightly different to the likes of Facebook and LinkedIn, which are sort of emerging platforms in terms of looking for jobs. So we've gone over CV creation. We're now going to use the email addresses that we set up, and we're going to do that to create accounts on the different sort of websites. So I'm just going to take, if I press on that M there, here, I'm going to try and copy, if it's going to let me. It doesn't seem to want to. There we go. I'll just triple click on it, and then Control C. I'm going to copy that email address, and I'm going to start with Facebook, I think, because Facebook tends to be the most popular one. I'm just going to click on more options and allow only essential. So I'm going to put my email address in there. So that's the one I've just set up. Now, the reason I've copied my email address there is because I've just set this one up and I can't really remember what it is. You should know what your email address is at this point, hopefully. And if you don't, you can sort of write it down in a notebook. I'd avoid writing down your passwords if at all possible. Try and keep them sort of locked in your brain. Maybe a password hint rather than your password itself. So maybe part of it, which is the characters start out, or like a phrase that would help you remember it. So it's asking me to log in here actually, which I've pasted that in the wrong bit. So I'm in the login box. I need to come to create a new account at the bottom. It's going to ask me for my first name and surname. Mobile number or email address. I'm going to use an email address. I'm going to re-enter it. I'm going to make a password. Again, I'm just going to spoof a date of birth. But this is where you probably put your real one in. I'm going to just, so I've done that. Click sign up. It looks like you're trying to create an account for a business, organization, or character, right? Okay, so let's just. I think that might be the name of the one that I've already got. So let me just think if I do. Tell you what, let me just. That's going to tell me that I've already done that actually. So let me just. There was a limit on the number of capital letters, right? Okay, it's not letting me put enough capital letters in this. Let me just. Okay, it looks like it's going to let me do that now. So yeah, you'll be putting your real name in there, so you won't run into any of that trouble. What they'll do is they'll email you a code. So let us know that the email address belongs to you. So if I go back to my email, Facebook sent me a sign-in code, which I can just copy or just type in manually. I haven't actually copied it, to be honest. So 5716. Account confirmed. There you go. So I've typed in my code, pressed OK. It should take me through. I'm going to click again, more options. I'm going to click allow only essential cookies. It's going to take me through this again. I don't know why. Something went wrong. Okay. There we go. So I'm on the remember password thing. I'm going to say not now. If it's your own personal computer and it's password protected, you might want to save your password and then saves you remembering it. If you want to stay signed in your account on your computer. If it's only you using your computer, worth doing. As long as nobody else has access to it. So, quick little look at your profile then. So, obviously, at the minute, we've got no friends, which is a bit sad. But we've also got no profile set up. So, if I click on my profile icon in the top right here, let me just double check you guys can see that. Yes, you see it says Haythem T there. I click on that. My profile is totally sort of empty. Obviously, it's got my date of birth on there. I might not necessarily want that. I could edit that post and change the privacy settings. If it'll let me, I could delete the post, to be fair. Items in your recycle bin, so I could just do move to recycle bin, and that should disappear from. Yep, so now it's disappeared. So there's nothing on my profile whatsoever. Yeah. So the first thing you're probably going to want to do is click on this to put a photo on. You don't want if you're applying for jobs, you don't want this weird sort of egg person. So I'm just going to click upload photo. And from downloads, I think I've got the Media Savvy icon, hopefully. Yes, I do. So this would be a picture of you normally. However, I'm just going to use this as a quick example. And then I've clicked save. So that's my photo there. That should load. Yeah, so there you go. I've got a photo in there. I might want to add a cover photo. So this will be when someone visits your profile. This is what they'll see in that space there. So I'm going to select the photo there. sorry, I'm not going to select the photo. I'm going to upload a photo. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to pictures, and I think I've got let's try that one, see if it's going to work. Let me cancel that because I need one with a black background. Or that one, probably. So if I open that. Now, again, not perfect, these ones, because I haven't really designed them for that. But I'll do that, and I'll click Save Changes. That one's too small. Right, okay. So it's going to tell you if the photos are too small or not. It's quite handy. Try this one. That's probably better. It looks like it's not as pixelated. Yeah. So I've got my cover photo there. That's it there. So I've got a profile picture that people can click on and they'll see that. I've got a cover photo that people will click on and see that. Now, again, they're not massively important. They can be a little bit more personal. This isn't massively important to your like job search. These aren't necessarily things that potential employers will be looking at. But just remember that they might look you up on Facebook, especially if you're applying for a job through Facebook's job search. They might come to your profile and have a quick check of it out. And if this is like a picture of you sort of hanging out of a bus window, being sick or whatever, it's not going to look too great. So just bear in mind what's on your profile and who's going to be looking at it. There's a few other things you can come down here and do. So if I click on Edit Profile, which is up here, so Edit Profile. Obviously, I've set a profile picture. I've set a cover photo. You get a little bit about a bio, so like a little biography to describe yourself. I'm just going to put a little bit of text in there. Teaching. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that. You can add some other info. So customize your intro. So your intro is all this basic information. So you might want to add some work. So add a workplace, and you can just search on here for your current workplace. So like that. Tutor, where is it? City Sunderland. You can add a description in. You can put a time period in. So I currently work here from 2016. Is that information public? So do you want everyone who clicks on your profile to be able to see that? Or do you want it to just be friends? Or do you want it to be only me? So obviously, this is where you can start restricting things that potential employers could see. This is probably something you want them to see, where you work. When I click save, it should just update. It says, and then it's grayed out. I'm not going to. You can share it on the newsfeed if it's a new job. It'll share it as a post. I'm just going to say no to that one. And again, can you see the little globe there is public? But if I edit workplace, I can change that from public to just friends, or say only me, so that only I can see it. So if you have everything set to only me or friends, if someone doesn't have you added as a friend, they won't be able to snoop through this information. Basically, is what that sort of pertains to. You can add a university. So University of Sunderland, which I believe I can't remember now. Yeah, graduated, put a little description in there. Concentration, so what course you did. My course isn't on there, which is fantastic. But yeah, you could just put a custom one in, so like that. Save. That's again on public. So I've added in, so similar, you're building like almost a little online version of your CV on Facebook, really. What you've studied, where you work, that sort of thing. You can put places lived if you want. You can put some contact information on there. With the contact information, I tend to be quite careful. You can add like your mobile phone and address. I wouldn't recommend adding those on here because you don't want people to get a hold of them. You definitely don't want people to get your email address because they'll just spam you to death. Address and phone number, you don't want anyone rocking up, you don't want anyone ringing you, so I would avoid them. If you've got any other social media, so when you have your LinkedIn, you can click add a social link, and you can put your, I believe, LinkedIn, yeah, and you just put your username in there. If you've got Instagram, if you've got YouTube, so you might want to put like your personal YouTube in there if you make like short videos about, say you were going for a job, and it was a job in, I don't know, like a bakery, and you were making cakes on YouTube. You could stick them in there if you want people to contact you on WhatsApp. Some people have a phone that they use for work. They might have you might have an account that you use for work on, say, Twitter, or YouTube or WhatsApp. There's a few in there, but you can add social links in there. There's quite a few to choose from. You just add a username in, really. I'm going to cancel that. I'm not going to actually do it, but it's good that people can do that. You've got details about you, so you can write some details about yourself, how to pronounce your name. I could probably do that. I've never used this feature before, but let's have a
Haythem,
wow. I like that.
Haythem, Haythemed,
Oh,
Haythemed, Haythem.
that's actually spot on. I could have done this with this for my entire life, to be honest. It would have saved me a lot of time and hassle. So yeah, I'm gonna actually tick that. I've never seen this feature before. So every day is a school day. And if I click save, please select a surname or write in your own words. I wonder if I write that, if I can see it.
Tawfiq,
Oh, wow, I can. Wow, okay, right. I'm going to save that. That's incredible. I've never seen that before.
Haythem Tawfiq.
No, that's provided me with great joy. I'm gonna recommend that to everyone who has a slightly different name. But yeah, so you can add in details about you, so favorite quotes, blood donations, other names, that sort of thing. Places lived. Again, not really bothered. I mean, add current city. I can add where I currently live, which is currently live in South Shields, so I can click save. And that again might give the employer an idea of what kind of jobs you're going for. So if I go back to my overview, where I am, what job I'm in, sorry, what I studied. So you've got a couple of dates in there, where I live. Apparently today is my birthday because I left it on the 26th of January, which is not, it's not my birthday today. But if I go back to my profile now, can you see in the intro bit, I've got some more information in there. You can obviously add photos, you can add a post in there, you can do like live videos. Again, I cover that in the social media stuff, really. And adding details to connect with stuff. Choose a recent photo, not now, you're covered, I've done that. So background details, so what city are you from? What city do you live in? I've already done that one. Where did you go to high school? That sort of thing. Where did you go to uni? I've done that one. Where do you work? Done that one. And you can edit this at any point. So at any point you go from the homepage of Facebook, come to this little profile icon in the top right here. And when you click on it, it brings you to your profile. You can just edit it, basically edit profile. And that'll give, like I say, potential employers a little glimpse that you'll be able to use some of that information as well. So if I click on see more on the left hand side, so hang on, let me just reload the page. The see more option down here. Jobs might be kicking about in here. If you've clicked on it before, you might see jobs in here. If not, you click see more. But yeah, jobs is there. And then you're into the job seeking tab of Facebook, basically. So I've set up a basic profile, haven't really posted anything, but now I'm coming to this job seeking thing. And you can see you get a few options. So filter South Shields within 96 kilometers. I'm probably going to take that down a bit because 96 kilometers is a hell of a commute. So you can see on the map there, that's a bit more like it. Probably, to be honest, maybe 10. It's a shame there's not 15 because that would have been a nice middle ground. I'll do 20 and I'll click apply. And then you can start looking for keywords. So I'm seeking jobs. Yeah, I'm not posting for jobs. I'm not hiring, which is this one at the bottom. If I was a company, I could do the hiring option, but I'm seeking a job. Yeah, salary. I might want to go hourly, and I might want to set the minimum at say £10 an hour. Type. I might want to look for a part-time job. And then there's some industries in there that you can click, and you can click on all industries and see them all. So I might want to do it in information technology, which is obviously IT. And then, so I've got a part-time job in information technology within 20 kilometers of South Shields, which is where I currently live. Obviously, you could change that to something else. So within 20 kilometers of Newcastle upon Tyne, and the map will change slightly. Click apply. And you've got filing administrator, technical administrator, Java developer. So this again, obviously, you can change your industry here. You could also, instead of doing that, I could untick information technology. Yeah, so none of that's ticked in the industries, and I can type in a keyword, and the keyword could be coffee. Yeah, so then we've got cashiers, we've got bartenders, full-time and part-time available. That's in Newcastle upon Tyne. So then to apply for it, so say I wanted to go for this bartender job, which I don't think would be a bad job. If I click on it, it'll give me a new tab with more information on it. So it's telling me there part-time. The wage seems to vary between £4.56 and £20 an hour. I'm assuming that's some kind of overtime. But if then you read through it, you've got the job description, and where it is. So it's at the 360 Sky Lounge, which is in Newcastle. It's Newcastle's first contemporary. So it tells you here what it is. It's posted by the page, which is quite good. So you're getting like a direct contact with the business page on Facebook, which is useful. It tells you here, obviously, what you're required to do, organize yourself, work with support, and it gives you an idea of where it is as well. So it's asking for your qualities. So to apply, please send us a CV in a Microsoft Word document or PDF. Remember, we did that before. Or simply respond to this ad with your contact details and we will be in touch. Email us on, and they've hidden it. But to start the application, click apply. And can you see, because I've filled out some of my profile information, it just brings that across. So it knows where I am, what my email address is, what my name is. I can put a phone number in there if I like. It's got me work experience, and I can even add more to it. So I added that to my profile. If there was something that was there before 2016, for example, or you wanted to add more than one job, you would click add work experience. It pops up with this little button there to do that. If you want to add more education, like a secondary school or another college or university in there as well. So this is sending them a link to your profile, but it's also sending them a link to this information. So name, phone number, where you are, email address, work experience, education history. So you've basically given them a very short rundown of what you're about, who you are, what you've done, and how to get in contact with you, which is a little bit of a break from the traditional way of applying for jobs. I mean, I remember going and handing my CVs out, printed versions of them, and I think pretty much them getting dumped straight in the bin, which, to be fair, isn't always the case. You know, some places will still take a printed CV. They might ask you to bring one along in a job interview as well, so that they can review it afterwards. And that's where it comes in, where it being on one page and nice and short and sweet, with all the key details on, it comes in very handy. But this version, this way of applying for jobs is a lot more direct. So I'm sending them a direct application straight to their business page, basically, and they can review that on their inbox. And then if they want to get in touch with me, they get in touch with me. Now, you would tick the little I agree button and you would click apply, send, so that would send your application. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to waste these people's time because I'm not interested in this job for now. But that's essentially how simple it is on Facebook to find the sort of jobs and apply for them. So just to recap on that a little bit, we'll go back as if we're on home. We have this menu on the left hand side, and if we click see more and then scroll down, we've got jobs. I believe if you type in the search box though, jobs, and just press enter, you might be able to find the shortcut, but maybe they've changed that. Yeah, they've possibly changed what your shortcut options are then. It should always be here on the left hand side. It might also be lurking in the menu at times as well, if you're on a mobile. Yeah, so if you can't find it on the left for whatever reason, so say if I reload the page, can't find it on the left for whatever reason, if you go to your little menu here, it'll be that little grid like we've been using, and just let it load in. Scroll down, it'll be under professional, and then you've got jobs there, and you just click on that. Bob's your uncle. There you are, you're back here searching for whatever you're searching for again, basically. So you can also, just one thing as well is one other thing to bear in mind is you can set up a job alert. So if I wanted something to do with social media, within 20 kilometers of Newcastle, and I wanted it to be full time, and I want to say, so be notified about new job openings. If I click subscribe, now, based on this search that I've just made there, so social media, Newcastle upon Tyne, within 20 kilometers, full time, I'll get a little notification when a new job gets posted that meets this criteria, basically. And you know you subscribed because it'll say subscribed there. If I click that again, it says subscribe without the D on the end, which means I'm not. If I click it, it'll turn blue. That means I'll get a little notification, which will pop up in this little bell here. So you see the little bell there? That's meaning that when a new job with that criteria gets posted, it'll pop up here and let me know. Might even send me an email, I'm imagining. But yeah, that's Facebook in a nutshell for job search. So I think for there, we'll have a little break, a little 5-minute break. I'm going to go and grab some more water. And then we'll have a look at setting up a LinkedIn account as well. And we'll go through some of the options for that. Just to quickly show you there. So Facebook, once you set it up, will start sending some emails. Welcome. Your primary email address has changed, which we did. So you'll get a few emails just welcoming you along. It's quite irritating when you first start up, but they should stop now. I went in the social media video over how to change your notification settings as well. So maybe check that out. I'll revisit that one if you're getting too many emails from the likes of Facebook. LinkedIn's a new one. We didn't really look at that in the social media. We sort of focused on the more personal ones like Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, things that you might use as an end user rather than things like LinkedIn, which is more professional. So we're going to have a little break. If I can pop myself into the break screen. Yep. And there we go. So I will have a little break. I'll be about 5 minutes. I know the counter says 15 minutes. Don't worry about that. I'll be back before then. And we will then go over LinkedIn, creating an account, creating a strong profile. So yeah, just bear with me for a few minutes, guys, while I go and get a quick drink of water. Go and grab yourselves one. Pause the video if you want for now, and go and have a quick break. We've been at it for a little while, and then we'll crack on after that.
You deserve more. More flavor.
Oh, haven't unmuted my mic, that would help. Right, sorry about that. Treat myself to a cup of tea. So, hopefully you enjoyed that nice chilled out music there, kept you going. Treat myself to a cup of tea and whack the heating on because it's a little bit chilly this morning. Yes, LinkedIn, that's what we were talking about. So, yes, we're going to have a little look at LinkedIn. And then we're going to go over some do's and don'ts about what we should really be doing and what we shouldn't. Or more just tips for your profile, really, and how to make them a little bit better, a little bit easier to use. So we're going to just go back to our faithful, we use google.com, whatever search engine you use. And then we're going to go for sort of LinkedIn. Oh, LinkedIn Corporation. Very nice. So you've got this uk.linkedin.com. Click on that. On the cookies thing, I always click manage preferences and I try to accept as few as possible. So I've got them all switched off, which is fine. And then at the top here, we've got a join now button. It's going to ask for my email address, which I bet you any money I can't remember, which I can't, to be honest, totally can't. MediaSavvy2022@gmail.com. Again, I'm going to delete these email addresses after this session, but use a securely generated. So when I use Firefox, it'll always pop up and ask you if you want to use a securely generated password. I'm going to ignore that for now, but you guys could probably do that. So I'm agreeing to the privacy policy. So use an email address, password, agree and join. It's going to ask me my first name. Oh. So because I'm setting up a new account, again, it's going to make me do some kind of verification test. I'm probably going to have to solve a puzzle. I feel a bit like a rat in a maze. Pick an image that is the correct way up. Okay. Well, that was easy. I don't know what the robot's problem is. That's simple. Oh, that's a bit disconcerting. It's used my IP address to guess where I am, which I don't like. I'm going to put the one for the office. So that's our office postcode. Most recent job. So luckily with LinkedIn, when you set up an account, it's just going to take you through the sort of basics that it needs to know. So tutor, full time. I know that I was going to say I know for a fact that we're on there. Right. So again, it's just going to send me an email. Just need to confirm. Go back to my inbox on Google. I'll get a pin. I should be able to copy that. Copy that. Paste. Okay, maybe I can't paste it. Maybe I can't copy it. Maybe it won't allow me. Hang on, let's try that again. Yes, there we go. Try. You know, try it at first. You don't succeed and all that. Now this is the fork in the roads for you guys. Is are you looking for a new job? If you are, chances are when you click yes, it will ask you what kind of job you're looking for, which is very good. So I might want to get into being a bartender. I just got something weird on my keyboard there. Bartender. I might also want to be looking at social media, is what the other one I was searching for, wasn't it? Social media. Coordinator. Locations. I might want to again. I've searched for Newcastle before, didn't I? So Newcastle upon Tyne, not Newcastle in Australia. I'm open to remote work. And then again, job alerts will be set up to my email address. I'm just going to click next. I can share that with recruiters so people can see that once my profile's set up, I'll be visible. So this profile will be visible when an employer, someone who owns a business, goes onto LinkedIn to post a job. I'll become visible to them, and it'll straight away looking for jobs for me. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's my LinkedIn account set up. I haven't really done anything with the profile yet, so that's what we're gonna have a little look at next. That set me up with some job alerts. So I've got alerts set up, and I can change them at any time by coming back to job alerts and deleting them ones. So I can turn recommendations off, hit the little bin icon on them, or I can just edit it. So instead of getting them daily, I might want them weekly, and I might just want them by email. And I don't want to be alerted for similar jobs, just them ones. Same for this one. I might not want similar jobs. I might want that email weekly. Email and notification. It'll send me an email to my inbox here. Yeah, but it'll also send me a notification to this bell here. Yeah, every time a new job is posted. So yeah, that's your job alert. So can you see when I've clicked on home and it's saying prepare your job search. Now it's giving me a little bar here and it says 1 of 5 complete. It's basically saying that my profile is a little bit lacking. So there's not enough on there for me to be effectively using LinkedIn. So if I click on update profile, is this your most recent work experience? Yes. Add your skills. So what skills do I have? Well, some would argue none, but definitely training. I'm going to say communication, just for the crack. Presentation, I'm given one now, so hopefully it's all right. I'm going to leave English off there, but I'm going to say IT. What's on here? Yeah, I've done some IT support, so let's see if we can get. But let's get it capitalized because it looks better. IT support. I might have a good phone etiquette. Basically, this is where, you know, on that portion of your CV where you add your skills, this is where you're adding them to your profile. So I might, you know, I'm quite, I think between me, Daniel and Dan, we're quite handy at video editing as well. So yeah, they'll do. I mean, I've added what, 6 there, 6 for now. You know, I might even put Excel in there, customer service. Why not? Make sure they're relevant to the things that you've got posted on this. So if you've posted about a job where you've worked in, you know, construction, you might not necessarily have ever used something like Microsoft Excel, and if you haven't, it's pointless having it listed as a skill, because if you ever got a job using it, they'd be asking you to do stuff on it, and you'd be like, well, I don't know how. So you make sure the skills are relevant to what you've got. But they can be, you see, there can be a wide variety of things. That's why I didn't put English down, because I can't say wide variety. They can be across the board. So video editing is totally different to Microsoft Excel. Customer service is totally different to IT support. They're not necessarily the same thing. So I'm going to press continue. It's going to ask me my location. So where am I? Yes, I've already obviously done that. So I'm just going to click done. Get notified instantly when recruiters have done that. I'm not going to do that. Connect with former co-workers, so you can add connections. That's just trying to boost your, what you call, your network on LinkedIn. So at the minute, I don't follow anyone and nobody follows me, so I haven't connected with anyone. But you can search people on here and you can connect them. If you click add connections, it'll just get you to search for people so that you know. And it's just going to give me some suggestions of people I might know. So I can probably find myself. Click on my own profile. It's a bit weird. There I am. I don't know why I haven't got a profile picture. I definitely used to. I don't know what's happened there. But once you've found someone's profile, you can go to more, click connect, follow Haythem to see their post, send a message instead. So I'm going to click connect. If you include, so they're more likely to accept an invitation if you add a note. You can add a note. I Haythem, blah 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 blah, and then you put in why you want to connect. Oh, I seen you at that meeting the other day. I'd like to discuss more about what we did. You click send. That adds them as a connection. So when you, obviously, if they accept the connection, it's like a friend request in a way. They will then appear in this like sort of news feed when you press on the home button. Their posts, what they share, what they comment on, what they like, what they react to, will pop up in this homepage feed. And that's just one way to keep connected with people. You know, if you see a project they're working on that you want to get involved with, or you want to get someone else involved with, or they've posted a job, or you're looking to get back into work, or whatever. It's all about networking, basically, is what LinkedIn's about. You can add more job preferences if you like. I'm also just going to go, so you see at the top, I've took some of the tips from here. I'm not going to take them all. Click through these little things. It's quite easy, to be honest, to just do these little, like you click add connections, it takes you through that. It'll tick off that you've done it. Add job preferences. So if you click edit preferences, it'll take you to a nice little tutorial there as well, which you can obviously have a look at. It's quite helpful in that way. I'm going to click on this box where it says me, and then I'm going to go to view profile. Now, this is where it's quite interesting, is that it's going to tell me here, I'm just going to close off that, how strong my profile is. Now, this is what I was talking about before. So it gives you an indication of where it thinks your profile is in terms of the chances of people discovering you, interacting with you, or potential employers, you know, looking at your profile and thinking, yeah, definitely give them a job. So you've got skills and endorsements sort of section there. If I drop this down, it will, so you see there's a little arrow where it says profile strength beginner. It'll give me some tips on increasing it. So add work dates. So I click on that button. So start date, I'm going to say January because I'm really not sure at this point. 2016. I currently work here. Add a profile. Done. So you see that even just that has brought me up to this intermediate level. The other basic thing to do, obviously, is you want to add a profile picture. So you can use your camera if you want, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to upload a photo. Again, I'm going to be deleting this account when I'm done with today's session. But you would use a picture of yourself. I'm going to use the Microsoft, the Media Savvy logo, and I'm going to click save on that, and that should set my profile picture to that. I'm also going to add a cover photo, if it will allow me to. Click on the little camera, edit profile background. And I think I used one of the ones from pictures before, didn't I? Believe I used this one. Hang on, maybe I didn't use that one. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. Oh. So again, you might want to look up what the dimensions are for this. Again, we can walk you through this, setting your background image. It might want to be, so I think the example I had on mine was a picture from one of the charity events we did, where we did a charity run across 48 hours. So that's my background image on LinkedIn on my personal account. So that's us. You can see the Media Savvy logo on the t-shirt. We raised like $3,000 for a charity called Take One Leave One, which helps clothe support disadvantaged people during winter. But we did that run. That's like a project that we posted about on LinkedIn, so it made sense to have that as my background image. For this one, I've just dropped like a dummy image in there for this new account that I've created, mainly because I don't have anything else to post, and this is just an example. You might want that to be, if you've got a business, that might be like the branding of your business, like I've put on for Media Savvy. Just make sure it's going to crop in the right way. You might have to do some trial and error and something like Photoshop or Photopea. More than happy to help you with that. If you need one-to-one support on that, we can definitely do that sort of stuff. So at the minute on my profile, it says that I'm open to work, and if someone was to click on the details, that's what I'm looking at in terms of work. So if I click on add section, because at the minute when you go to your profile, I've just got nothing really in here. I've not got any skills or endorsements. Sorry, I don't have any endorsement. What an endorsement is when you put a skill down when someone views your profile. So if I say got Dan to come and view my profile, he might endorse me for all of these things to say that yes, actually, I know that he can do that, and his name will appear next to them with like a little thumbs up to say that yes, I agree, he can do that. And that's where you get what you call endorsements. So you can, here it's telling me to add education. So I will just do that now. So I click add education. And hopefully the University of Sunderland is going to pop up. There it is. Degree, yeah, a bachelor's. A field of study. That'll do. Now we're asking the big questions of when, and I cannot for the life of me remember, so I'm just going to do... hang on, I've done that wrong. 2032, wow. Click save. So I'm reaching the top level of intermediate now. So add a summary about your expertise and interests. So add summary. I am not an expert. Now, realistically, you wouldn't put something as daft as that. You would type in, a bit of background about yourself. So, say 6 years. Whilst maintaining a whilst this is where it gets tough. You have to think on the spot. Developing and maintain something that sums up briefly what you're about. So it could be what you're passionate about, what you do, where you work, where you've worked, where you studied, what like a brief summary about yourself and So it says here, people also talk about their achievements or previous jobs, years of experience, industry, or skills. So you're just talking yourself up a little bit like that summary section in your CV. Click save. That'll be obviously added to your profile. And can you see, because I've done those basic steps, you're all set. Members with all-star profiles see more relevant feed updates and receive more profile views. So it's in your interests to go through that little process when it's telling you that you're sort of starting off as a beginner, you get up to intermediate, you get to that all-star. You get that little rush of dopamine in your brain because it's told you that you've done a good thing. But you've also then LinkedIn will start showing you more relevant stuff. And so I've got quite a bit of information in there. I've got now an about bit. I've got sort of where I am, who I am, a profile picture, a background image. I've got my experience. I've got a skills and endorsement sort of section there as well. Obviously, I won't have any activity at the minute because I haven't posted anything. When you start making posts and articles, you can see that there. If I click on add section, education, is education already there? I did fill it in, it's just not popping up on my profile. If I go to contact info then, I can add some more contact information on there as well. So I click edit, I can add a phone number, I could add a work. I'd probably stick to, I wouldn't give out your phone, your home or personal numbers. I would stick to your work phone if you have one. Again, addresses, wouldn't be giving out addresses unless it's for like a work premises. So, you know, you might give out the Media Savvy one. You can put your birthday in there. So it's got your email address here. If I click on that, what it'll do is it'll take me to the account settings, and I can add another one. If I don't want that one to be my primary one that people can get a hold of, I can change my password. I can change where I'm signed in. I can put two-step verification on if I want. If I go to visibility, so that's just one thing to think about as well. People profile viewing options, private characteristics. So I can turn myself to private mode. I've got it on public because this is what you use LinkedIn for. It's like a public networking site, basically. Visibility of your LinkedIn activity. So when you share a status, who can see it? Your connections only, all LinkedIn members, no one. So that would be like fully public. That's only people you've connected with. Share profile updates with your network. So it's worth reviewing these basically. Have a little look through, see who can see what. You've got profile information, like language, your feed preferences, your name, location, and industry sort of thing. That'll take you to that intro bit. So we edited this before. So industry, it's put design. I might put education in there instead. Higher education we'll go for. Edit contact info, like I said before, you've got your email address. You can add an instant messenger in there. There's not many options with that, so I normally ignore that one. Just click save. I'll save that as well. You can add a few more things. So you can add a section in here. You could add, say, accomplishments. And you could say, I want to add a project. And the project name was, like charity run. Not currently working on it. It was in sort of May of 2021 it might have finished in the same month. You might have done a charity project for a month. Add a creator. So you are a creator, add others. So if anyone else worked on it, you can add them to it, associated with, and then what it picks out the organizations that you've worked with. So if it was associated with Media Savvy, you might have a link in there to say like a YouTube video. We had a Just Given page, so you might put the Just Given link in there. brief description, you know, we did this, we did that. This is just an example, so I can sort of just waffle on a little bit. I'm not going to put a link in, but you'd put a link in to, like I say, YouTube, maybe Facebook, maybe the Just Given page, whatever it is. Click save. So under accomplishments, we've got charity project, and then it'll give you the information there, so someone could look at it, and that's your accomplishments. You could put in things that you've attended, different events, whatever it is, and that's just clicking on add sections. I can't collapse that down for some reason. You can put additional information in there, request a recommendation from someone. You can click about. Obviously, we've already done about. Featured. If you've done any articles or posts, or you had any media, like you've done a short video about, you know, why you're so good, or a project that you've worked on that you're really happy about, you could feature the media there. If you're a designer, or like I say, even if you're a baker, for example, you might have a video of all like the best things you've ever baked on YouTube. Might be nice to put the featured media in there. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You've got your background here, so you might put in license and certificates. So this is a bit where you can sort of brag a little bit. So you can the name of what it was. So you might have like an Adobe. Oh yeah, you know, they're using Microsoft. So Microsoft. Let's have a look. Microsoft Excel 2013 certification. So who's the issuing organization? This credential does not expire. So this could be anything really. It could be if you've got like a card to work on a site. It could be if you've got a DBS, I'd imagine you can probably put that on there. If you've got a forklift license, if you've got a qualification in something like Excel or maybe some of the Adobe stuff, you've got the dates, credential ID and credential URL. So the ID will be the little thing you get on the slip of paper that you get the certificate, and the URL might be a link to the certificate itself as well. Can be useful, quite specific. So again, like maybe something like a forklift license or something like that. Not necessary, but if you're working in a field where you need to be qualified, say like it's food hygiene. I mentioned bacon. You might have a food hygiene certificate, and that might be something that's good. If you were working in like industrial cleaning, you might have something like that as well. So it's definitely worth, you know, clicking on add section and checking out your background, and you've got your licenses and certificates. I'm not too sure. I've never really done it. Yeah, there's things like driving instructors on there. Obviously the different levels, so you could, you know, put that on there. And then they've got all the other driving stuff in there, so like fire service driving, bus driver, a heavy truck, light truck. So again, can be quite specific to your industry, but definitely worth putting on there if that's the type of jobs that you're going for. And to be honest, that's pretty much it with LinkedIn's profile and the connection. So making connections by LinkedIn's going to suggest them to you, but you're also searching for people that you know in that sort of search box there. And it can help to start with friends and colleagues. The one thing to bear in mind with that is that when you look at someone's profile, they will get a notification to say that such and such has looked at your profile, or they'll at least be told your profile's being noticed. And that's on purpose because they want LinkedIn to be used as like a network and thing. So if you're looking at someone's profile, it wants them to look at yours so that you then connect with each other, sort of thing. So just have a think about that really, and who you're searching up and who you're trying to connect with online, and just be careful. Make sure it's appropriate. So yeah, just coming back to the jobs. So along the top there'll be home, my network, then jobs is the third one along. Obviously we've set up some job alerts when we first set up that account. We've also got the ability to just search. So I might want to search. Can you see there's the one I've got the alerts for, but I could search for something totally different. I could search for a driver job within Sunderland, and it'll bring up a bunch of driving jobs here, and it's within 40 kilometers. Might want to take that down to say 8. Can filter it by experience level. So different ones there. I can do a job type. I might want it to be part-time. And then click show 38 results. And there's one for the NHS there. So what's quite good about this, it shows you, say, an alumni work this, which is telling you how many graduates from whatever university or college or school you went to work there. So I've got this NHS one. And when I click on any of them, it just gives me a little breakdown of it on the right hand side. So click on that NHS one, it's giving me a breakdown here. Part-time, entry level, was posted 1 day ago. Just going to collapse the messenger thing down. And then just some bump about what it is, what you need to be motivated, what it's doing. This post is 40 hours a week covering shifts. But it looks like this one I must have part-time available as well. Key essential requirements. So you need a full driving license. So again, this way you come back to your certificates and your licenses. Manual handling, able to work on their own within a team, should be self-motivated, all the usual stuff. So contact details for job-related inquiries. So that's not how how you apply, but if you had any questions about what it was, things about the vaccine in there, recruitment, important notes, that sort of thing. Pay range is currently unavailable, so that might be something you want to ask about. Then it also gives you a link to the company. So again, similar to Facebook, where Facebook goes directly to the profile of the business, this is directly linked to the profile of who's posted the job. Now, the NHS is a massive one. What you could do is follow them and you'd see updates from them when you clicked on that homepage tab again. But that would include everything, not just jobs. When I've clicked show more, it takes me to the NHS's profile with the website, what they do, that sort of thing. So if I did want to apply for this, I would click apply. It would take me to a new window, which is a link to their page. So it's like you're not applying directly through LinkedIn. You're clicking here and then going on to the application process. So there'll be a few different ones. This Morrison's one, if I go onto it and click apply, it'll take me through to the Morrison's website with an apply button. Yeah, but it's giving you the chance to search, filter your search, view the sort of profile of the company that's posting it, and then when you click apply, it takes you separately to their website or possibly their where they've posted it elsewhere. So that one seems like it's actually not available anymore. But if you were still wondering, there'll be some contact information. You could even go onto the Sunderland Empire page and possibly send them a message, follow them. Some of them are open to messages, some of them aren't. So their settings as a business aren't set to send them a message. Sometimes they will be. You could maybe try and see someone who works there on LinkedIn, connect with them, send them a message, try and get in touch with them that way. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to leave LinkedIn there for now because it is quite a beast of a website, and I've covered the basics of setting up your profile and searching for jobs and connecting with people. There's quite a few more things you can do on there. If anyone has any trouble with that at all, let me know. The last thing I'm going to do, the very last thing, I'm going to close all this garbage down and just leave this open. And then I'm going to grab my email address again, if I'm allowed. I'll tell you what would be the easier way to do it. It'll be like this. I'm just going to copy my email address and I'm just going to go over to Google, or Google apparently, because I can't type in the word Google because I'm losing my mind now. And I'm just going to go and type in Indeed. And Indeed, uk.indeed.com, which is the search site there. And this is what Indeed looks like. You guys have probably used it if you've ever searched for a job before. I know when I used to jump between jobs, working in retail and driving and all sorts of nonsense that I used to do, all sorts of jobs that would have you up all hours of the day. I used to use Indeed quite often. I had varying degrees of success. Some jobs were great, some jobs were not so great, as you'll find out. This is the search page, basically. What you can do is if you go over to sign in, it's asking you, do you want to continue with this, or this? I don't. I want to continue with an email address. It's asking me to create a password, so I'll do exactly the same as I've done on the email ones. I'm going to confirm that I am indeed a human being by ticking that box. Take that, Skynet. So it's as easy as that to create an account, basically. And then we're going to go to my Indeed messages. I don't have any, so I'm just going to go back to Indeed.com. If I click on notifications, I probably don't have any, but this is where they'll pop up. So if I get any messages on LinkedIn, on Indeed, sorry, they'll pop up here. If I get any notifications about job alerts or any applications I've put in, they'll appear there as well. If I click on the profile thing, this little dude here, and go to profile, I can do one of two things. I can build a new CV, I can upload my CV. Made a CV before, made a couple in Word online and Google Docs. So I'm just going to pick one of them, click the upload button. And what it's probably going to do is do the wheel of doom for a little while it reads that document that I've uploaded. Right on cue, the wheel of doom disappears. Would like to access your location. I'm going to allow that. We've pre-filled your editable online CV, so let's review it. So it's dragged out some of the information, where I am. Let me just change my cookie settings, confirm my choices. So it's dragged out my name, where I am, my email address. That was the dummy phone number that I'd put in. Call and send text messages to this phone number. No, we're not going to do that. So obviously I haven't added any education on that CV. If I did, it would have pulled it out automatically. You would just field of study, film and media. So if it has missed off stuff, you can just do it this way, sort of fill it in. You fill in, I could even just say, you know what, I currently go here. Save that. Next. So work experience, see it's pulled out that dummy information that I've put in, and it's telling me what's missing when it's dragged it in automatically. So job title, test job, I'm going to put, I'm going to say I currently work at that one. I'm going to save that. That one's got a missing job title. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to delete that one too. And then I'm going to edit this one and say my old job. Now, obviously, you wouldn't do that. You would name them what they were. So you put a job title in there. So you know, I used to work as a carpenter / joiner. I was self-employed, and I did that from March of 2009. You know, when I was still in school, to March of 2014. Now I'm just making this up, but you would put in your legitimate data here, basically. So when did I start that one? I started that one in April of 2014. Sure. Why not? So I've just sort of made that up a little bit there, but you would add the legitimate information. So new skills. Well, I've just said carpentry. So gone on then. Add that. I'm really good at Microsoft Word, as you saw from when I created that. I'm not good at spelling because I've just said Microsoft Word. I'm confident, maybe. Okay, it doesn't want those type of skills. Time management, brilliant. And that'll do for now. 3 to 5. Click next. That'll take you through. So this is my CV on Indeed. So it's took information from that CV I uploaded. I've added a little bit to it. I can add some links in there if I wanted to, if I had military service, if I'd received any awards, if I had any patents on something, so I'd invented something. Unfortunately, I'm not that smart yet. I can add a headline, a summary headline. You know, I might, if I was a media professional, I have X amount of experience working in the I don't know, digital animation. Tell you what, instead of media professional, I'll use a bit more of a common example. So if it was a customer service or we could even go like retail manager. I have X amount of experience managing at a supermarket chain. Helps when you can spell successfully. You're always off to a flyer there. So yeah, you get the idea. Save that. That'll then become your headline there. Your personal details, driver's license, cars. We've got some work experience in there, so test job, the carpentry thing. And then you just click save and continue. Obviously, I need to confirm my email address, which is all it'll always get you to do. All that it's doing there is it'll send you an email, confirm your Indeed account. It's confirmed, thank you. So I can close that tab down and go back to this one here. Save and continue. I wonder if I refresh this page, it'll let me do it. Should do. Save and continue. Yeah, and then it's just going to ask you about your job preferences. So I might want full-time work as a store manager. I can pick more than one of these. So I might want full-time permanent. I might also want to look at part-time. I might want Monday to Friday. I might want 10-hour shifts or 8-hour shifts. Desired salary per hour, I might want like 10 or maybe 11. I don't know. We're making it up here. This is where you'd have done a bit of research to see what your sector is. Optional salary survey. I'm just going to click next. I've picked some of my options. And then, do you have any of these skills? Yes, if I do, obviously, I'm doing this as an example. So this is my profile. I filled that out. So when I click on About Me, ready to start work, yes, I can change that to that. And that should save, hopefully. Yes, it has. So I've got that profile set up now. A little notification popped up there. You're on your way to a better job. Welcome to Indeed. I go back to the main website. I can now search for the popular searches that popped up here. One of them is supermarket. I might want to go for store sales assistant, for example. Where South Shields Town and Wear. Okay, brilliant. I've added all my relevant information. I've got a little CV ready to go. Sales assistant, immediate start, retail assistant, sales assistant needed. And when you start getting these jobs pop up here, obviously you've got, again, like we had on LinkedIn, like we had on Facebook, you can just filter by job type. So I might want to be looking at part-time. I might want to be looking at within 10 miles instead of 25. And I might want, say, location. I can go salary estimate over 20 grand per year. You see, I've narrowed that down to fewer results now. And then I've got pets at home in biker there, 12 hours a week. So if I click on that, it gives me that breakdown again on the right hand side. and sort of explains what's what with that. Apply on company site. I can also favorite that job and come back to it later. So it saves it. So that goes into your saved jobs. Which then so if I didn't want to apply for it right now, but I want to come back to it later, I want to get a bit of advice, I want to tweak my CV a little bit, I want to write maybe a cover letter, I can save that for later, and I can do that with a couple, so I can scroll down to a different one for DFS, for anyone wanting to buy a sofa, sale probably now on, I'd imagine, it always is. I press that little heart again, it says move to saved, and then I come off Indeed to say I close that down, I've done with Indeed for the day. I come back tomorrow, yeah. And when I've come back, I go back to Indeed.com, and I'm still signed in. And if I'm not, I just sign back in with my username and password. But if I come to my jobs in that little profile icon, it should, fingers crossed, in my saved there's the two that I saved for later, and I can obviously click on them and it'll take me directly to that. Now the option is apply on company site. Some of them, and let's try and find one, you'll be able to apply directly with your LinkedIn account. So sales assistant in South Shields, let's have a look. If we click on advanced, change that to job board, change that, we'll leave that on that and we'll click find job. That one's apply on company site as well, actually. So let's try and find one where it's not. A lot of them will be apply on company site because they want you to go through their, similar to LinkedIn, you click on it, the link takes you to their website and click apply. There will be some, so let's try and find one where you can apply with your LinkedIn your Indeed CV. So you see apply with your Indeed CV. It'll come up in it'll have a little arrow underneath it there, like a little arrow. Apply with your Indeed CV. They're the ones that you can click on, and it doesn't say apply on company site. It says apply now. So if I click apply now, it will take me to the sort of application on Indeed. So you're just doing a step-by-step, filling in this form. You click continue. A lot of it should be pre-filled. So it's asking you there, add a CV for the modern milkman, which is what this job is. So you can either use a saved CV, the one that I uploaded, and you can send them that directly. So I could click that and send them that. Or I could use the one that I created online as part of LinkedIn, either or. Now, if I'm really happy with the CV that I created before, I might want to send them that. Yeah, click continue. I might have accidentally applied for this job here. No, so they'll ask you a few questions as well. So you're doing an application, but you're doing it through the Indeed website, and that's going directly to them. And it's as easy as that once you've set up your profile and your CV is on there, and you can choose. So just go through that step-by-step sort of form, click apply, they'll get it. If they're interested, they'll send you a message. You'll get a message in here in your Indeed messages, which is this little button here where my mouse is, or you'll get an email from them. They might even ring you if you've put your mobile number on your CV as well, which is great. So if I go back a couple of pages to here, where's it gone? I don't want to report. If you think the job has an issue with it or it's not real or whatever, you've obviously got the report option. So what it is, what it's about. Maybe you want to report it because you think it's not real. If we go, I'm just going to try. You can do reviews on different places as well. I'm going to go to the settings quickly. Yeah, so you click on your profile icon, settings. This is where you can add a phone number, change your password, email address. You can set your account type. to job seeker, and that'll just make you a little bit more visible on there. For now, no third-party applications, not really worried about that. Click on privacy, just gives you some information about what information is being sort of used basically by your account, but it'll just be the basic stuff really. So recent searches, you can see jobs feed is like stuff it thinks you're going to be interested in. Recent searches is stuff you've searched for recently, so you can come back to that as well. And you can save the job for later if you want, which just goes into that My Jobs section here. And you can just delete them if you want to do by pressing that cross. You can also update the status, so I was not selected, and then it'll just move it from there. And I just quickly want to check something before I wrap up. So give me a second. So let me just do a search again. So if we do driver, we can. The one other thing to think about is changing the. So it's at the minute it's sorted by relevance. You can sort it by date so that you can see the newer ones. Because what you'll sometimes find is when you sort it by relevance, you end up finding the same jobs over and over and over and over again. Equally, when you click on a job on this, you see these guys have got reviews out of 5, so it's worth checking them as well. So obviously some of them don't because they haven't been reviewed yet. Some of them have been reviewed and they've got either good reviews or bad reviews, and you can click on them to view them as well. Good, terrible, so that this can give you a little bit of an insight into whether this the company's any good or not. And that can be very helpful. So let me just turn that off. So all I did there, and this is the last thing I want to cover. So when I click on driver, it's going to load like a preview of the first job. So there's a blue highlight around this here, and it's loaded the information for that job on the right. If I press that little cross, I get an option. Get new jobs for this search by email. So whatever I've selected here, so what I've typed in, where it is, what options I've selected. If I click send me jobs, I've got my email address in there. It'll save a job alert. So job alert's active. So if I click that and go to email, it's in email settings. So I've got job alerts for driver jobs in South Shields, and it's set to daily. I might want to edit that, change that to weekly. Save. I could obviously turn them off. That'll turn it off. I can untick the receive career advice because that'll just spam you. But I can change it as well. So I can change what the keyword is, I can change where it is, or I can just delete it if I want as well. Which would work too. So that's in that email settings there. So that's in your profile, email settings, and that's how you set up a job alert on Indeed. Slightly different on all the different websites as well. So just bear that in mind. That you might have to do a little bit of work on the different sites, but that's in a roundabout way the last thing I want to talk about really in terms of online profiles and employability. But just remember that if you have any trouble for whatever reason, you're not really understanding some of the things I've done, I appreciate some of it I've done quite fast. So if we need a recap on some of it, that's fine. Let me know. I'm more than happy to go back over some of the stuff on a one-to-one basis. Yeah, but unless anyone has any other issues, obviously you let me know. I think we've made some good progress through most of the content there. It can be quite a tricky one getting used to how to set up your profile and searching for jobs on the different sites, but it'll definitely help because if you can hit as many platforms as you can, you're going to find more opportunities. And if you're using something like LinkedIn and Facebook and Indeed, that's 3 really good platforms for it. And you're also hopefully with the likes of LinkedIn gaining a bit of a network so you know where to look, and if you connect with people in real life when you go to like jobs fairs or if you've done any work experience, or if you've been to like a charity event, or if you've just met someone like a friend of a friend or a family friend, or you've bumped into someone on the metro and you've ended up accidentally sort of talking to them, worth connecting with them on something like LinkedIn in a professional way if they can point you in the right direction of doing something that you want to do, if it's volunteering, if it's artwork, if it's traveling, if it's a new job. Obviously, again, use things like the reviews, use things like job coaches and that to vet these opportunities as well and make sure that they are legitimate and they are what they say they are. Pay close attention to the e-safety sessions where we talk about phishing and vishing, and a lot of that stuff can be related to jobs as well. So definitely check out the e-safety stuff, how to spot fake emails, how to spot fake texts, how to spot fake websites. That's the sort of stuff you want to be looking at in there. And that's all in that e-safety session that I did last week. So definitely use them in conjunction with each other. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Obviously, have a good week. Me and Daniel will be back with another session at some point. Thank you very much.